Welcome to the Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. Today, we are live on the air from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., asking for your financial support and sharing the great work of various ministries, authors, speakers, clergy, and local radio hosts that impact our local Charlotte community. Carolina Catholic Media Network is 100% listener supported, and we need your financial support to continue broadcasting the truth of Jesus Christ. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909 to make your tax-deductible pledge. Operators are standing by right now to take your call, or you can donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. Thank you for your loyal listenership. We hope you enjoy this special Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon program.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon hour here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. My name is Bill Snyder. I'll be your host for this hour, and we are so very excited that you are joining us live on YouTube, Facebook, and of course, 1270 AM. We are asking for your financial support here on the Carolina Catholic Media Network. We cannot continue to broadcast amazing local programming and, of course, EWTN without your financial support. So please call right now, 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909. But I don't want to spend too much time giving you all the particulars, especially when you can go online and donate at carolinacatholicmedia.org. Because I have a wonderful guest with me right now, joining me for this hour. His name is Joseph Wysocki. He is the Dean of the Honors College at Belmont Abbey College. So, Joseph, thank you so much, or Dr. Joseph Wysocki, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's
start off by apologizing. We have one car right now, and I can't get to the office, so I'm outside. So if you're getting the nature soundtrack in the back, it's only because it's probably better than 6 kids waking up. So apologize for the birds.
Oh, no, absolutely no problem. We love having a little bit of that nature in the background. It certainly is soothing here in the morning. But I would love to just ask you a little bit about what is going on at the Honors College, and what is the Honors College at Belmont?
Sure. Yeah. So, just in a little bit of a way of my background and how I'm tied to the Abbey, and that's part of kind of the Honors College story. I was an alumnus of Belmont Abbey. I went to Belmont Abbey from 2000 to 2004, was in something called the Honors Program with my wonderful mentor, Dr. Thuet. And there was always a component of what we would call a great books education. But I've been teaching back at Belmont Abbey for 12 years now. I taught in the government department. But 4 years ago, I was asked to help found a new honors college, along with my old mentor, Dr. Thuet, that would be a really rigorous great books program that would be unique to Belmont Abbey. And actually, just this May, we had our first class that has gone through all 4 years of this new curriculum graduate, which was really exciting for us. So in essence, what it is, some of our listeners may know a little bit about some of the other great books programs out there in the Catholic world. For example, Thomas Aquinas College out in California, Wyoming Catholic College. My wife went to Thomas Aquinas College. And so we started with sort of understanding of this idea that a great books program, which is specifically a way to do liberal education well, by immersing students in the great primary texts, in philosophy and theology and literature, in history, and that these books are meant to teach us how to live human lives well. And that to do that well, you need to do it in a coherent way. So many colleges today, I think, have liberal arts curricula. They have core curricula where students, have to dabble, I think, in, take a couple literature classes, take a couple history classes. We don't really care which ones, just be well-rounded. But But our philosophy was that we ought to have a coherent curriculum where specific books are included because they speak to the fundamental human questions, those things that we really yearn to understand, that are tied to our happiness, and that we ought to sort of order those classes in a way that those books speak to one another in a coherent way. So our students take a 4-year curriculum. They begin with the ancients, the great ancients like Plato and Aristotle, Homer, the ancients who someone like Pope Benedict XVI said Greek philosophy is integral for the Catholic faith, right? It is integral for our understanding of the Catholic faith. They begin with those authors freshman year. They move on in sophomore and junior year to study Christian authors, scripture, St. Augustine, St. Thomas Aquinas, other doctors and fathers of the church, and then modern authors. And then we have a very cool senior year that we call the Crises in the West, that really gets to the heart of the moral and intellectual crises of our time, so that students can be prepared to respond to all of those things. And we have a number of very interesting courses like marriage and the family, science and technology, and a number of others. And so it's this really cool curriculum. What is really amazing about the Honors College at the Abbey is that students can take that 4-year curriculum and pair it along with any major offered at Belmont Abbey, which is something that no other college in the country is doing right now. So you can do a 4-year great books program in the Catholic intellectual tradition and be an accounting major and be a biology major. And so we think it really gives the best of both worlds of professional, vocational, as we Catholics would think about it, vocational education, along with that solid Catholic liberal arts tradition. So yeah, we just had our first class to go through all 4 years of this new curriculum. It was really exciting, and we're about to welcome our largest freshman class coming in this fall. We have 32 students right now. I think we'll wind up with somewhere between 35 and 40 coming in the fall, which is really exciting. So,
wow, that is so exciting, and it's beautiful to see how you are really bringing so many different facets of traditional education to students and to young people. It's beautiful that you're weaving, and you mentioned Pope Benedict, right? Pope Emeritus Benedict, and how he said that philosophy, that Greek philosophy, is so important for young people. I really like that. And so I would love for you to maybe talk a little bit about your summer program with high schoolers, because you just alluded that you've got a huge incoming class. And so obviously that's going to play a little bit of a role into this. But what does that summer program for high school students look like?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, our summer program for high school students, which any student who's finished freshman year of high school is eligible to come to, has been really integral in the growth and recruitment of students to the Honors College. It began in 2017. So we're in our about fifth, sixth year now. It's a 1-week program on Belmont Abbey College's campus. And it really is, in a way, a taste of Honors College life for our students. So what does that mean? Ultimately, there are three main components to this program. And it attracts a certain type of student. So the 3 main components are, first, we do 5 days, Monday through Friday, of great book seminars, 2 seminars a day, about an hour and a half. And we send out a book of readings ahead of time to the students with those readings. And they don't get credit for it. That's kind of what's unique. A lot of college programs say, well, we'll give you college credit. It's about a head start, about giving you skills that are going to help you in college. It's kind of the exact opposite in our program. Schola is the name of the summer program, Schola, S-C-H-O-L-A. And one of the translations of that Latin word is leisure. And so really the feel and the charism of our program is one of leisure, of coming together to talk about books and works that are really important for understanding human life. So we have three separate themes and we rotate them through 3 years, that means that high school students can come 3 years in a row to our program and do a different set of readings and have different seminars. And we've had a number of students now, it's pretty amazing, who have come back to this high school program 3 years in a row. So this year, our theme is love and friendship. Last year, it was justice and mercy. And next year will be honor, humility, and the Christian life. And so for each of those years, we have about 150 pages of readings we put together in a beautiful packet. We usually begin with some Greek poetry, like Greek tragedy, Plato or Aristotle, usually some scripture, usually St. Thomas Aquinas or St. Augustine or some other church father or doctor. We do Shakespeare every year, and then we typically have some modern and contemporary authors. So, this summer, we're doing Plato Symposium on love. We're doing Aristotle on friendship. We're doing the Song of Songs from the Bible, St. Thomas Aquinas on charity, Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare, Pope Benedict XVI's Deus Caritas Est, which is an encyclical, and then a really awesome, I can't recommend it highly enough, a short story by an American author named Willa Cather called Two Friends. If I can get people to read Two Friends, gosh, it's just this amazing story about friendship, and a friendship that's ultimately kind of destroyed by politics and the sadness of that, which I think in our time is certainly something that I think we see happening. But yeah, so that's kind of the academic part. A whole lot of fun. We go to the Whitewater Center in Charlotte, which probably most of our listeners are familiar with. We're really lucky to have the U.S. National Whitewater Center right down the road from the college. We go hiking in beautiful South Mountain State Park, about an hour away, and we go into Charlotte for a museum. And the diocese helps us with buses, which is amazing. I should put in a plug for the diocese, and thanks to Greg Monroe, who I think you guys are going to hear from at some point, the superintendent there, for giving us some buses. So, and then of course, time with our monks, time set aside for mass every day, rosaries, vespers and lauds with our monks. I mean, that's in a way that at the heart of it. So, yeah.
Wow. Very unique and very beautiful for young people to get involved in this and just really experience life, right? I mean, this is a life experience they're going to treasure and carry with them for forever, because they've learned and gained this wisdom from all of these classical authors and amazing historians and stuff like that, and then you bring in all of the different social components of this, hiking, and just it's beautiful, and there's nothing really like it out there. And so if you're watching this right now, and you're a high school student, or you have a high school student, really explore this, right? Really explore this, for your child, right? How can people get involved?
Yeah. So if you, it's pretty simple in terms of the website. It's Belmont Abbey College.edu, our regular webpage, /Schola, SCHOLA. And we've extended the deadline. So we're about to have our record-breaking year. We have 77 students coming, but we have a whole lot of faculty, a whole lot of honors college students serving as counselors. So we'll have these smaller groups, something like houses, smaller groups. But we're still taking applications for this summer. So BelmontAbbeyCollege.edu/Schola.
Wonderful, amazing stuff. And I want to focus just for a moment on what young people can do to participate, and the importance of Catholic media in their formation. We talked a lot about why the classics are important for them to read, and all the recreation and stuff, but they're also getting a lot thrown at them, right, in the secular media, and it's impossible for them to escape it, right? So how do we direct young people into media programs and stuff like Carolina Catholic media, and what appeals to young people about Catholic media and truthful media?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I would say a couple of things. I would start off with the most basic point. which is from Aristotle in his Metaphysics, which is, the opening line, the very famous opening line to that work is, human beings by nature desire to know. Human beings by nature desire to know. So we have a deep desire to understand the world around us, to understand ourselves, right? We think we know ourselves, but often knowing ourselves, as Catholic authors like Walker Percy, and of course people like Plato would point out, is one of the most difficult things. So there's this deep desire that all of us have, adults and young people, especially young people, who, as you say, are getting so much thrown at them. So that's there, right? We don't need to do anything to put that desire there. It's already there. And there are going to be all too many people who are willing to fill that up with really bad understandings of self-knowledge and knowledge of the world. And of course, we know, right, that the Catholic Church and its teachings offers us not only the truth, but a way to happiness. And so just in general, I mean, I think it's very important that, that we have alternatives in the media to what is being thrown out there. There's just saturation of information. C.S. Lewis, in one of my favorite, again, I can't recommend this more, in this wonderful sermon he gives called Learning in Wartime, which is a defense of continuing to learn things even in times of crisis, right? He says, he writes it during the beginning of World War II, when some people would say, well, look, when we're in times of crisis, and certainly we can make that argument today, right? That there's so many things wrong with the world that, well, look, all we need to do is act. We just need to get out there. We need to be activists. We don't need to learn. We don't need to be formed. And his point is, look, from the standpoint of a Christian, there's always a crisis, right? There's always sort of heaven and hell and salvation. But he said, I love this line by him, right? He says, I never thought that when I converted, many of you know, right? C.S. Lewis, a big convert, says, I never really thought that after my conversion, I would still be doing so much of the same stuff, right? Like the boring everyday life stuff. And if you don't do those things well in ways that are edifying, right? Like whether that's like just your interactions with somebody at the bank, to change a new kid's diaper if you're a parent, right? That those things need to be sort of edified. And so for me, right, we're all consumers of media. And maybe we could, some people's response to all this is, well, we should go back to the old days where we don't have any electronic media at all. And we sit around like monks in the old days with books. Well, most people aren't going to do that. So if we don't fill the space as the church, right, others are going to do it for us. One thing I would say specifically in terms of local media, I think that's so important, right? I think what Carolina Catholic Radio is doing in terms of local Catholic media is so important. And I think the reason for that, and as my students would know, give me 5 minutes, I'm going to mention my favorite author, who's Alexis de Tocqueville. The best way that we can get involved usually in a way that matters, and the best way we can inform ourselves in things that are actually within our sphere that we can actually do something about is locally. And I think very often, not just in politics, but even in the church, there can be a sort of distraction to get pulled into the big issues of church politics that are really beyond our control. And they often wind up just, sort of getting us anxious or angry. And, so many of my students listen to these podcasts about what's going on in the Vatican and, these types of Catholics and these types of Catholics. And I go, look, most of that's not really good for you. Frankly, you can't really do much about it. But in Charlotte, we have both in my teaching life and my family life, I am blown away by the Catholic life we have in Charlotte. We have an amazing diocese. We have Belmont Abbey College. We have St. Joseph's Seminary. We have Carolina Catholic Radio. I mean, it is thriving and there's so much amazing work to be done. And so I think plugging in, just like in politics, right? If you want to get involved in politics, which seems so dirty, do it locally because people actually are trying to get good work done. In the same way with our Catholic community, what can we do here? How can we serve the local church? That's something you can actually do. And Carolina Catholic Radio really plugs young people and old people in to that. So I think what an amazing blessing.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Wysocki, thank you so much for joining us today on this Share-A-Thon, this very special Share-A-Thon. It's amazing to hear all the stuff that is going on, and thank you so much for that awesome plug for Catholic media and Catholic media for young people. I think that's such an important thing. So, folks, as you just listened to Dr. Wysocki talk about this, please, we need your financial support. Right now is the time to give. It's not about 10 minutes from now. It's right now. You can call 1-800-857-2909. Again, 1-800-857-2909. That's the number to call to donate. We have operators standing by to take your tax-deductible donation right now. Also, folks, you can donate online, carolinacatholicmedia.org. carolinacatholicmedia.org is the website that you can go to donate as well. But we're going to wrap up the remainder of this hour as we toss it back to EWTN for just a little bit, but stay tuned. We have more amazing guests, more amazing hosts headed your way. So thank you so much for tuning in to our Share-A-Thon. We'll be back with more live and local programming shortly.
You are listening to the Carolina Catholic Media Network Sacred Heart Share-A-Thon. Operators are standing by right now to take your tax-deductible pledge. Call 1-800-857-2909. That's 1-800-857-2909. Or donate online at carolinacatholicmedia.org. We now rejoin network programming already in progress.